100 for 100, the podcast where we take 100 films that I have curated myself personally for new watchers of film. That these are 100 movies that you should check out, man. If you're trying to figure out what your taste in film is going to be, here's a fairly good sampling of movies I think you should check out. I took them, I ranked them from 100 to a 1, and then I gave each one of them a 100-word review, which is how we arrived at the title of this here podcast, 100 for 100, man. And we put out one a day for the first 100 days of 2020, and today gives us number 65. Number 65 in our joint, man. A film that came out in 1980, directed by Richard Lester, Superman 2. We're back in the comic book world again. So let's read this 100-word review that I have here of Superman 2. I consider Superman 2 to be not just one of the best Christopher Reeves Superman films, but the best movie in Christopher Reeves' filmography. Having to tackle the double duty of using both brains against Lex Luthor and brawn against General Zod and gang, Superman is taxed to his limits. The further developing of Clark's relationship with Lois Lane is wonderful to watch as Lois starts to suspect Clark's secret. Complete with Gene Hackman and Terrence Stamp gleefully chewing scenery and John Williams' iconic rousing score, Superman 2 proves that there were great comic book films long before the MCU. I think my thoughts on Superman overall are generally known. I find Superman to be pretty whack. I'm a Batman guy, and there's a lot of people out there that are both. I understand that, but I lean more towards Batman's viewpoints and outlooks on life than I do towards Superman. Superman's a very hopeful, optimistic dude, whereas that's just not who I am. But Christopher Reeve's performance it's when most people, can't really say that. It really depends on what generation you belong to, but when a vast majority of people think Superman, they think Christopher Reeves, and for good reason. He played Superman, 4 times? Yeah, I think 4 times. Yeah. Shout out to Richard Pryor. And he did so quite well. Regardless of the quality of Superman film, Christopher Reeves' quality as Superman or Clark Kent could not be disputed, debated, or battled. Any of that, because he is a great Superman. In this movie, man, I think I'm one of the few people who think Superman 2 is far superior to Superman the movie. I'm it seems like a very small minority. I put that out on Twitter a while back, and everybody went ape shit or garage shit. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Just everything that transpires in this, there's no flying backwards in this joint. Just the having to fight Zod and him trying to garner the affections of Lois as Clark, knowing that he could easily do so as Superman, but trying to get it, just show that he is, just as quality a guy as Clark as he can be as Superman. It's the fact that, Lois has some agency. I think Lois, in pretty much every incarnation of anything Superman, be it movies, be it Lois and Clark, be it comic books, has always figured out that Clark Kent is Superman because Lois is one of the best fictional women there is. But Margot Kidder plays Lois great, and I love that she susses it out all on her own. She doesn't need, no giant hints, no giant clues. She just slowly, methodically, hey, what? That's weird, because he's an investigative journalist, and that's what they do. Terrence Stamp as Zod coming down to Houston and wrecking shop, and everything that happens in the Fortress of Solitude is great. And just seeing Gene Hackman just having a blast with this, with Miss Tessmacher, a very underrated henchman in comic book movies, Miss Tessmacher. That woman does not get the credit she deserves. This is just a fun movie to sit down and watch, man. Watching Superman face off against Zod's gang, with Lex Luthor trying to worm his way between the two. it's all wonderful to see, man. If you have not, or if it's been a while, because I bet you for a good bit of you, it's probably been a while since you watched it. Check out Superman 2, man. It's the best you're ever going to see Christopher Reeves.